Why did you consider your neighbor? Your neighbor had nothing to do with you. Your neighbor is none of your business. You could have went on and went to Disneyland. Why did you include your neighbor? Like, why did you care?
My significant other is part of the community board. It was my
the HOA?
Yes, it was my due diligence, and just being the person I am, looking out for my neighbor.
Everybody already know the story behind HOA. Well, her guy is HOA. And so I come to mow this lawn. And what you're gonna see in this video is multiple days, because there is coming back to see and document that they made things happen. But the thing about this story, HOA did something that we don't hear about, or that we don't know for them to be doing. First of all, I want to say this lady stood up and held Glow Fiber accountable. Some of y'all may be familiar with Glow Fiber. They've been going around putting wires in the ground for internet or whatever. And they put these things in your driveway. Everybody don't get it. It's just a matter of where they dig at. But we're one of those people. And they say they're gonna come back and fix it later. My driveway still isn't fixed. But this homeowner said no. She went and fought for her driveway. But she didn't just fight for her driveway. She considered her neighbor as well. That's right. You just don't get this type of neighborly consideration. And then, since when do HOA care about anybody else, right? Well, this guy is the HOA guy we want in everybody's seat. What do y'all say about that? I'm just gonna let the video unfold. There's some lawn cleanup, but the most important is I'm gonna put in there when the people came out, and I'm gonna show you coming back and documenting the results. I asked her, even though I'm gonna play her conversation, how did you get them to do it? Her answer, she reveals in the video. Stay tuned, y'all. This is one you want to hear if you have Glow Fiber product in your driveway and they have not come back to fix it. This is what she did for herself and her neighbor to get them to keep their word. When you got glow fiber to come out here, why did you consider your neighbor? Your neighbor had nothing to do with you. As your neighbor is none of your business. You could have went on and went to Disneyland. Why did you include your neighbor? Like, why did you care? When you call glow fiber, you say that you got hers done too. So why did you include her when you went after them doing yours? Like,
because I felt that as a neighbor and as my significant other is part of the community board, it was my
the HOA?
Yes, it was my due diligence, and just being the person I am, looking out for my neighbor, to include her in our concerns about what had happened to her driveway as well as mine. Whether it was hers or anybody in front of me or beside me, I would have done the same for anybody else.
So your guy is on the HOA board. That's big, because you know a lot of people are critical of HOA. So this is evidence that your guy's the right guy on the HOA board, because y'all could have just did yours, but also you all held HOA accountable, not HOA, Glow Fiber accountable,
and the county,
and the county. Wow, because a lot of people, even myself, we still got Glow Fiber stuff sitting in our driveway, and they have not come and fixed it. So what would you tell anybody to do to get theirs done? Do you go down there and fuss and yell and scream, or how do you do it? You need to voice your opinion to your HOA if you are part of a HOA, or secondly, definitely go to your county or your city and present to them your concerns about what has happened to your property of their project that they did. I can tell you right now, they weren't communicated. And they even told us. I remember they came to my door. They said, we're gonna replace it, call this number. So they promised everybody that they're gonna fix what they do. But I can tell you right now, I promise it didn't take overnight. It was, you know how long it took when you saw that. It was months. It's been here a long time. Yeah, it's months. And unfortunately, she got another issue going on. Verizon did another part, but I don't know what's she gonna do with that. But right now we got the Glow Fiber thing fixed. That was fixed, but you know they didn't even really wanted to do that. Look, so now it's like, so they was huffing and puffing about even doing it. Absolutely. Wow. Absolutely.